In Georgia, I think we've made a lot of headway with the challenges we faced as far as the skilled labor gap. One of the biggest challenges that we faced was really the trade programs had been decimated in our high schools and even our tech schools over the last 30 years. Um, Seems like just yesterday I was in high school, but it's been about 30 years. And last year I was there was the last year my high school had a construction program.
And
Uh,
why is that?
you know, I think there's a lot of reasons, or a few reasons. One, there was a big focus on parents sending their kids to college, right? Everybody was, college is the way to go. You can't be successful unless you don't go to college. And the skilled trades really just got a bad rep. It had kind of a negative connotation. That's what you do if you're a high school dropout or if you're an uneducated person. If you can't get an opportunity doing anything else, and that can't be further from the truth. I mean, construction has always been um, one of those industries that has allowed for generational wealth. It's allowed for people to really break out of poverty, and to do really well, regardless of your educational background. So, I think that was part of it is people pushing their kids to go to college. I think another part of it was really the industry fell short in supporting these trade programs. I think that's probably more so the factor, right? Because, I remember when I was a kid, my parents would tell me things, but a lot of times it'd go in one ear and out the other. So, despite what our parents told us, that wasn't the major influence. I think one thing that really influenced kids mostly was they just didn't see opportunity there. And then again, the negative connotation that construction's kind of negative stigma that construction's kind of had over the years. A lot of that has changed, but I think the lack of industry support in our trade programs, in high schools, in tech schools, throughout history hasn't really been there. I know when I was in high school, we would do things like build birdhouses, and half the time it seemed like the instructor was asleep or just not really there for the right reason. So a lot of those programs weren't really effective, and they really weren't conducive to engaging young people and allowing them to see the variety of opportunities that are available in construction today. Um, so I think a lot of that's changed over the last 20 years. I've seen firsthand industry go into these classrooms, elevate the training that these students are able to get, the exposure to different industry that these students are able to get. Construction Ready has been a big part of that. I actually started with Construction Ready about a little less than 6 months ago, but I've worked very closely with them throughout my entire career. I got into the industry back in 2007, worked closely with Construction Ready almost, soon after starting with them, probably around 2013, 2014. And that was one of the biggest draws to the organization that I saw from the industry standpoint is they did a great job of really connecting the dots, connecting industry with our education programs, with our communities, and really getting the buy-in and the support from the industry and from big industry leaders. Some of the biggest names, not only in Georgia but across the country. So we were able to come in and provide resources, provide industry standard technology, ideas, mentors, bring in success stories from our companies, and I think that really started to elevate the level of what these trade programs were now able to offer, and also generate a lot more interest in young people. It was going there more than just taking a construction class and just passing the time. Now they were realizing, wow, there's some amazing opportunities here. Not only when I graduate, but right now. There's programs that they can get involved in. There's events they can get involved with. We help put on the Career Expo at the State USA State Skills USA competition. We handle the Career Expo portion of that, and we'll have thousands, tens of thousands of kids coming from all over the state of Georgia, competing in every different trade. I'd never seen anything like that growing up, and to be able to see something like that firsthand, it's mind-boggling. We call it, a lot of people compare it to the Super Bowl of skilled trades, because when you walk into the Georgia World Congress Center, which is I think the third largest exhibit venue in the United States. And you feel the vibe, you feel the roar of all these different tools, equipment, people working together, building different contests. There's some energy in there, and it really opens your eyes to what's going on into the momentum in the state of Georgia. So again, firsthand from the state of Georgia perspective, I think we're doing a great job at overcoming the challenges that we face with that skill shortage. And a big part of it has been industry stepping up and doing their